Ms. Blouin, thank you very much for the introduction. It's really good to be back. I remember the meeting last year, and for me it was very encouraging to have a discussion with people like you. It was a great meeting, and when I got an invitation to be here again, of course there was no reason to refuse. It's really good to be here. Can imagine that the pronunciation of my name is a bit difficult. My name is Balkenende, but it also happened to my brother. I made a joke, I think, last year. My brother, he was in the business sector, and he was in the 80s in China together with Mr. Duvekot. There's two typical Dutch names, Duvekot and Mr. Balkenende. But how can you pronounce these names when you are in China? So the people there said, we welcome you, Mr. Difficult and Mr. Broken Leg. But it is a bit difficult. And sometimes there's some confusion in the European context because Balkan, and some people say, oh, that's easy, the end of the Balkans. No, that's not what it means. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce two Dutch children to you, Zara and Reinier. They are both 13 years old. They live in Hoogezand, a town of 20,000 people in the northern Netherlands. Until last year, Reinier and Zara were classmates at primary school. The school's name is De Schakel, which means the link. It's a small school with 130 pupils. It fosters creativity among children by teaching them business skills. Zara and Reinier's class was given an assignment to set up a business and make it a success, starting from scratch. So they had to think up a product or service, draw up a business plan and budget, get financing, design and produce the product, market it, sell it, provide after-sales service. And then I'm talking about 13-year-old pupils. And the children's teacher, Mr. van der Veen, guided them as they built Multiflex, a company making placemats. Today, there is hardly a single house in the town of Hoogezand without Multiflex placemats on the table. And Zara says, it was all great fun. You learn all kinds of things from running a business, how to approach people, advertising, sales. The main thing is to have a good plan. And of course, everyone has to stick to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a real-life example from my country of how we can challenge children to be creative and learn new things at the same time. Because business demands many skills: cooperation, planning, research, design, math, communications. I'm not saying that every child should become a business person. My point is that schools can stimulate children's creativity by putting the books aside sometimes and thinking and working in a different way. It is crucial to stimulate creativity. For countries that want to compete in today's world, an increasingly important question is to be creative or not to be. Some of you are experts on how brains work. Others have many years' experience of teaching the most talented students in the arts. I myself worked for 10 years as a professor of Christian, social and economic thought. And even more important, as father of a 9-year-old daughter, I'm a hands-on expert. I'm struck again and again by how open children are to the world, how curious they are about what they will find around the next corner, how keen they are when their talents are called upon, and how hard they can work on developing them. For example, my daughter loves horses. You can imagine that, 9-year-old, and she loves horses. And she's already dreaming about Olympic medals. Although, on the other hand, now she's working very hard at her piano lessons, so who knows? Education has to focus on children's talents. I think we all agree on that. The question is, how can we help develop all these talents? In the Netherlands, we try to achieve this by giving schools themselves the main responsibility. Schools enjoy great freedom in choosing how they teach. The government sets the level that pupils are expected to attain, but the schools decide how to get them there. And this allows schools to find the forms of instruction that suit their pupils best. It gives schools and pupils more room to be creative. It creates diversity among schools so that parents, pupils and college students have a wider range of choices. Some schools do a great deal with computers. Others focus on art and culture. And others try to challenge the most talented children. Design Academy Eindhoven is one school that focuses on the most talented. Time magazine has called it the School of Cool. Located in an old Philips factory, the Academy is part of a long tradition of Dutch design. Its aim is to design a world of tomorrow. This means that its students have to be allowed to think freely. But they also have to take account of human and social needs. They try to answer questions like, how can we create a hospital environment that helps people get better faster? Or, how can we design public transport in a way that makes people choose it over their cars? Ladies and gentlemen, creativity is not restricted to an elite of very bright children. Every person has a seed of creativity inside. Everyone has the right to an education that makes that seed grow and flower. Let me give an example. Last year, I visited a vocational school in the town of Arnhem. It's in the eastern part of the Netherlands. And it teaches pupils whose skills are mainly practical in technical areas. One of this school's programs is called Sound and Vision, and is for young people interested in audio and video technology. The school has a partnership with one of the biggest Dutch companies that organizes major events. Pupils have a space in that company where they can use cutting-edge equipment to build theaters and sets and do lighting design. They work as assistants at real events like rock concerts. You can imagine what an exciting way this is to motivate young people and make them more creative.